WideOrbit started to make it easier to buy and sell media. We did start in local media and local broadcast television, moved into local radio. We believed that we needed to rebuild the systems behind local media before we could then transact with the buy side in a very efficient way. So we started out building the backbone systems for local television. We're now live in over 90% of local television stations in the US, about half of local radio stations, and about 30% of national cable nets. We run their backbone ad systems from order entry through receipt of cash. So getting back to your agency question, agencies have a difficult time making money buying local. They know that local works for them, that it works for the advertiser, that the ads on local TV stations and local radio stations ring the cash register for their advertisers, and that's obviously critically important. But the rates at which the advertisers have negotiated with the agencies is so low that they really don't make money on local broadcast compared to the more efficient buying processes in digital and national. So WideOrbit is very focused on making that connection process a lot more efficient. We're working with Strata and Mathewson and working very, very heavily on software development and systems to make the process more efficient, so that both advertisers and agencies can buy local broadcast, have it work for the advertiser, and have it be an efficient process for the agency. Programmatic, of course, came of age within digital. It largely is thought to be real-time bidding with audience segmentation or audience targeting. In linear, traditional scheduled television and radio, it really kind of has to mean something a little different because there's not a real-time nature to it, and there's not typically a one-to-one targeting. There will be in the future with ATSC 3.0, there will be one-to-one targeting, and with some of the efforts in the radio industry. Right now, you would best define programmatic as improving automation and adding data to local broadcast television and radio buying. In digital, it grew from 0 to about 75% in 9 years. So it grew very, very fast. In local broadcasting, we've been doing it for about 2 years in kind of a pilot type scale, but it's starting to operate now in decimil volumes. There's always been arbitrage within local TV and radio buying. That's existed. Some of that's been kind of, some of our competition has kind of put lipstick on that and called it programmatic. I would argue it's really not automation. It's really changing their marketing description and adopting programmatic title. We're trying to really make the process more efficient. So having better pricing information for both buyers and sellers, having targeting information so you can aggregate audiences, not just day parts and age, gender demos. There's a lot of things that we're able to do to make the process a lot better.
So with all this automation, how does this change the opportunity for the buy side, the kinds of advertisers, which I guess traditionally had been the mom and pop stores, the local car dealers, the fast food. How does this change the mix of buyers in local media, if it does?
Sure. So there's a lot of differences in local media between New York and Glendive, Montana. So there's a full range of needs and a full range of advertisers. The top 10 markets typically are just national advertisers, and they're treated as more or less national markets. As you go deeper into smaller cities, there's a lot more variety. But yes, you're absolutely correct. Local car dealers, quick service restaurants, and others have been the backbone of the advertisers for local television and radio. We are also, though, finding direct-to-consumer models, venture-backed models that are not geographically dependent, are using local television and being very, very successful at it. The reality is that local television rings the cash register. It can be bought efficiently. It can be bought efficiently from a price standpoint. You can use WideOrbit's programmatic TV buying tools and shortly programmatic radio buying tools to buy that inventory direct.
Cool. And finally, I know we're going to be meeting in New York in a few weeks, and then again in San Juan at the Beat Retreat. You guys are also, of course, addressing the national market. We'll get into that a little bit more, but just fill us in a little bit about the services that you provide to the national programmers and networks.
National cable networks are very important to us. They're about, we operate the backbone of about a third of them. They have unique needs compared to local broadcasters. The way they manage their business with an upfront and a after-selling process and remix, reweight, the fact that they sell on a CPM basis versus CPP basis, there's just a very different set of needs. Plus also they're largely aggregated. So you make one phone call into Viacom, one phone call into NBC, one phone call into A&E, AMC, et cetera, and you get all of their networks and prices of them. We have solutions for them as well. We're working hard in surfacing those solutions to the buy side, and we're excited about where we're going.
Cool, and finally, the broader picture of automation and the buy and the sell side, your work, a lot's going on with Strata, MediaOcean, a lot of big players. How do you sort of see things developing down the road 12, 18 months?
Yeah, I think there's going to be, you'll see a lot more, a lot higher volume of what will be called programmatic TV buying in 18 months. We currently process about $35 billion in ad spend. So 100 million or 200 million seems like a relatively small number in the scheme of things. It will clearly be in the $1 billion time frame in 18 to 24 months. It's moving quickly.